First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. A moment ago, here was the scene. The Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And we are underway from Atlanta. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the third overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Always knew he'd be a gym rat, very cerebral player, a guy that beats you with his mind as well as his physical attributes. But the best part, poise under pressure. He knows how to bring a team back in the fourth quarter.
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good start offensively. 15 yards on the game's initial play.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's the first carry now for Todd Gurley. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. And here's the offense now. Charles, who's the guy you chose to highlight?
The tone setter, the guy in the middle, Alex Mack. His return, never good for the opposition.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And that one's complete to Gurley. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it. It really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Ryan's throw caught by Jones. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already in the field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards, first down, Atlanta. How about the start throwing the football? 4 for 4 on this opening drive.
Oh, he's slinging it. And oftentimes when you talk about slinging it, you're thinking about a guy throwing it all over the yard, not necessarily accurately. In this case, though, he's honing in on his targets, and he's delivering.
Yeah, the opening script, however, they drew it up for this first drive, going to plan so far.
Ready, blue 80, blue 80. 54 Mike. Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. And it'll be intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down. After getting that turnover on the first drive of the game, you'd hate to just stall out the momentum, go 3 and out. They're able to avoid that there.
Yeah, we talk about complementary football all the time, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Defense went out, forced a turnover, gave the ball to the offense. It's now the offense's responsibility to pay that off for them, to show respect to them. Hey, you guys got us a turnover? We appreciate it. They want to continue their drive.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a give, right side. It's Carson. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
This throw complete, Wilson finding Lockett. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
Well, enough takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. From midfield now, here's Wilson. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. 14 yards there and a Falcon 1st down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. Gurley. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Max 50, Max 50. Drop deep, drop deep.
Now on 2nd and 13, Ryan, and they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize it is broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. From the shotgun, Ryan. And this one to Treadwell, complete. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. third down. They gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
The Falcons send out their punter. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On 1st down, Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. A gain of 6 there on 1st. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it and run time, and he picks up a 1st down.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 43. They run it with Carson. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Here's Procise, and very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Wilson, after the play fake to Carson, steps away. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Yeah, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
Bruce Irvin is an emotional, passionate player who lives to rush the quarterback.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, it's Ryan. To the right side and complete to Hurst.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack.
Go ahead and take a seat. You can't stop me.
No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Falcons send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Here's a handoff to Carson to begin the drive. And he'll take this for about 4 up to the 46-yard line. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
380. He can't hang. He's not going to get me.
On 2nd down now, it's Carson. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. The Seahawks on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. It's caught, Lockett. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. Well, they opted not to run it. They completed the pass on 3rd and 2, but they lost yardage to bring up 4.
Well, give credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They snuffed out the play, but it does bring into question, 1, the play call, because they didn't run the ball there. They could have run it, and 2, just not getting it. That's got to be deflating for them.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. From the gun, Ryan, and he will find Ridley. That's complete. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Gurley. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll try and pick up the first with Gurley. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. He needed a yard. That's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Right 25. 54 miles. Rip right, rip right.
On 1st down, it's Gurley. Tackle made by Delano Hill.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Ready to go.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Ryan. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Now Ryan. It's caught. Jones. 23 yards on the play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to the ground game here. Gurley takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Ready, blue 80. Blue 80. Check. Check. Check.
From midfield now, here's Ryan. Caught by Jones. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line.
Partner, he sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you say, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
They're running it.
They go play action with Ryan. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up second down.
I know we're just in the second quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's a second drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Here's Gurley now out of the gun. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 29.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
He completes it to Jones. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Ryan to Jones, the Falcon connection there for a first.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Ready? Back 25. Ooh, Ernie, get on it. All right, T, let's go. All right, T. Ooh, Ernie, get on it.
Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They can't stop us. They cannot hold us down.
Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Here comes carry number 10 for Gurley. And he's going to take this one down to the 25.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun. Ryan, that's complete to Smith. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So with 4th down looming, Dan Quinn sends out his field goal unit. From the left hash, this from 39. And his kick here is good. And the Falcons are out to a 3-0 advantage. That will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny, we had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll begin the drive with Carson. On to stop there defensively, Tyler Davison.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
45. Get him. Get him. 45.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. They go play action now. Wilson going up top, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Fielded at about the 28. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Todd Gurley and the offense, they get set and trot back out there now. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. They run out of the shotgun with Gurley and able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. From the 41, Ryan. He gets it to Gurley, complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 7, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
The Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
Gurley again here on 1st down. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan, the connection made. It's Graham. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
He's going to dump it off to Gurley. And I think the ball's out, and the Seahawks have picked it up.
Yes, sir.
So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now it's Carson. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Wilson going to hand it to Procise. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
A pickup of 5 that time and a 1st down. First down now, but the clock continues to move. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf. And it's 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. On 2nd and 10. Wilson, and that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Again, Wilson out to his left. He can run for it, and he will. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Ito Smith heading back out with the rest of his offensive crew. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the 2nd quarter. Now it's Ryan. Complete to Jones. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Ryan. This complete to Jones. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. Now it's Ryan. And that one's complete to Gurley. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 32-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away. And his kick is indeed good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So a big play before the end of the half to get him into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at...
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
And they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. On the delay, here's Carson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. And what I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Just got to find a play or two, and they could be very happy at that point.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Let's get off the field. Check out.
Now Wilson. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And able to find Dorsett. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line.
One of the selling points of the in route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot able to throw the ball into the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Double time, double time. Hey. 4 down.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Wilson turns and gives to Procise. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Another example of just a dominant performance by this defense.
Yeah, you hear all the time about teams that try to steal signals from the other side and try and learn their signs and their tendencies. It's almost like they get the answers to the exam the night before and were well prepared for this final.
5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. Play action. Now Wilson. And he's got his man on the out route. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Wilson now 10 of 16 throwing the football. It's 1st and 10. from the shotgun. Wilson. This complete to Lockett. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal.
You got nothing. Watch safety three. Watch safety three.
To throw is Wilson. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal. They'll try to run with Carson, and he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And that one puts them on top here in the third. That time a 9-play drive. And it was all capped off by the Chris Carson touchdown run. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Getting set to go again on offense. We get a peek at Julio Jones now. And he is closing in on the 100-yard mark for the day.
And it appears that he loved the fact that they're going to play this game earlier. You know, daytime, he's out there running around, feeling good about himself. Whatever his prep was coming in, he was able to get out there quick and fire away.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for it.
And he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown.
That's it. Good work, boys. Let's go.
We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. Now Myers for the extra point. And it's up. It's good. Our score, 14-6. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go play action now. Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Benson Mayowa, credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Here's Ryan to throw. He completes it to Treadwell. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
Offense.
They expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll come on to kick this one away. They try and bring the pressure, but he still gets off a good one. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And whatever adjustments they made at intermission, they're working because the first half they didn't look so hot. Now they seem to be clicking.
And you know me really well, partner. A lot of the time I like to downplay the idea of adjustments. Maybe it's just they executed better. But in this case, I think you're right on to something. They look so much sharper, so much better. They obviously saw something they needed to change, and they did exactly that.
Change is working right now. They'll run on 1st down. Carson. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. after the loss to start out. Here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, keep it up. Keep it up.
Wilson from the gun. He'll throw. It's caught. Lockett. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Now here's Michael Dixon, standing just outside his own goal line. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Time to establish the run game here. Gurley. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
They'll stick to the ground game with Gurley. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave them with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long, and you know this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
Mike 50, Mike 50. You remember this? You remember this? Gotta go.
Back to the workhorse today. It's Gurley. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he's going to be unable to get upfield as they take him down at the 21-yard line. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1.
Watch the slant. 52, Mike 52. Here I come.
The shotgun handoff to Procise. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. This is Carson. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson throwing over the middle, and it's the failure to connect on 2nd down. That leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now Wilson operating from the gun. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 30 yards there, and of course the 1st down as well.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. From the gun, Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Deion Jones picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
So maybe just a momentary setback on what's been a great drive so far, but 2nd and 13 here. Here's Wilson. He hits his running back, Procise. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. 9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Operating from the gun, Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. So on is Jason Myers. He's hit from as long as 58 in his career. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt, and that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it, and this one winds up no good.
Matt Ryan and the Falcon offense set to get going again. He's hoping to channel his first half play. They had the lead at halftime, was playing well. Flip the script here in the 3rd quarter a little bit.
I think he misses the Pee-wee days, when you just got the orange slice at halftime, right? And remember, weren't any real adjustments then, right? You weren't looking at some tape, right? You weren't looking at stuff off of the Surface tablets. You just went back out and played. Right now, maybe the adjustments have caught up to him.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he just needs a couple orange slices here for this drive. Quick throw from Ryan here to Ridley. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
You ready? White 25. 54. Right here, right here. Watch twist, watch twist, watch twist. Twist. Got it.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a third and about 5.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
From the gun on third down, Ryan to the right side and complete to Hurst. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on third down. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Hey, ready? White 25. 54. White 54. Focus, defense, focus.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. Caught by Jones. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
Right there. 54 Mike. Come on, D!
They'll throw on first down with Ryan. That's caught over the middle by Hurst. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great...
Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And now look at him go. The 20. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone.
Cough it up. And sometimes that's the last thing you hear, and that's exactly what you do.
Ryan will bring the Falcons up now, 1st and 10 at their own 27. From the shotgun, Ryan. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Ryan. It's caught by Treadwell. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. It's caught. Jones. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Got what he needed for the 1st down with a gain of 2. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. To throw again, Ryan. And this one to Treadwell, complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. To throw again is Ryan. The connection made, it's Graham. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there and a 1st down for the Falcons. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47. Throwing again, Ryan. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Ryan will throw again. Short throw underneath to Hurst. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Again, Ryan. Short throw underneath to Hurst. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. And they keep those sticks moving forward, that time with a gain of 3.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a 1st down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Ryan. He completes it to Jones. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 16, first down Falcons.
Right there. He's the lady. Right there. 54 Mike. Watch the screen. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. He's going to have the hook up to Gage. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They've been in the red zone 3 times in this game and have not scored a single point. Can they break through here on 2nd and goal? Now Ryan, and Graham's got it, complete. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown, as they're now just an extra point away from getting back within 1 score.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet, or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Extra point by Koo, up and good, as this gets him back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and the Falcons score to cap it off. So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 26. Wilson, and an alley to run. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Mike, 45. Let him know, let him know. Let him know, let him
know. Wilson, after the play fake to Carson, rolling to his left. Now he'll pull it down. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the 1st down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but It's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They run the counter. It's Carson. In on the stop, Casey. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good work after the catch, going to net him 23 and a first.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 27. They'll toss it out to Carson. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. On 3rd down, Wilson. This complete to Lockett. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. Myers' kick is good, and that will bump the lead up to 11. A big one there. That gives him a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. And he loses the football the second time. And the Seahawks have picked it up. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that, and that's what they've done all game long.
Now Myers for the extra point. And the lead is up to 18 now. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line.
Here we go.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
There's not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You've just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now a draw play for Gurley. The tackle made by K.J. Wright.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Ryan, and he gets this one to Ridley complete. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
3rd and 2, now Ryan. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. The Falcons will go for it. It's Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 10 yards there and a 1st down for the Falcons. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Now Ryan on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Cut.
Throwing again. Ryan. He's going to dump it off to Gurley. It'll be a gain of 6, and all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now it's Ryan. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. 33 yards that time. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now they got to get to the line quickly to try again after the sack. Ryan, he completes it to Treadwell. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. To throw is Ryan. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Jaron Reed able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Now the offense not going anywhere. They're staying out there. They've converted once already on this drive. Here they go again on 4th down. Ryan. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. Shaquille Griffin knocking it away that time in coverage. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. So the victory here for Seattle, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. Till next time, we say so long from Atlanta.